This is Jack Fishman behind the camera speaking with music director Sebastian Langlessing about the symphony's 11-12 season, which features a Beethoven festival, all 9 symphonies, January and February 2012. And of course it concludes with the ninth, the most famous probably symphony ever written, the Ode to Joy theme, the piece that Leonard Bernstein chose to play at the Berlin Wall when it came crashing down, a piece that at least the theme of the last movement is almost universally known. I'm not so sure how the first 3 movements are known, but it's certainly one of the towering mountains to climb of the symphonic literature. So how do you approach the ninth?
But it's funny, it's the piece I've conducted most. Maybe really, it's by far, I think, the symphony I've conducted most in my life so far. One reason for that is, first of all, it's played in Germany always on the 31st of December and the 1st of January. So it's a big tradition in most cities to play this during the turn of New Year, because we celebrate with this the Ode to Joy, something new, and we all come together to celebrate life and humanity. And then I had this production in Paris in '96 with Maurice Béjart, famous French choreographer, who created a version of Beethoven 9, a ballet. It's more than a ballet. It is really, in the Wagnerian way, it's a work of art. It's a Gesamtkunstwerk. And he was inspired by Friedrich Nietzsche, who actually had this idea that Beethoven 9 needs dance. So we created this for the Bastille in '96 in Paris, and did a series of performances in Paris. Then toured it to Japan. Then years later brought it back to a stadium with a Bercy with 20,000 people. It was a very, very moving, event for me, because you have to walk in. I had to walk in this huge stage, meet the principal dancer in the middle, then we shake hands, and then I walk while the orchestra was playing just an A, not really tuning, playing an A. And it took, I think, about 2 minutes for me to reach the podium because it was so far. That's quite dramatic. The other thing that I remember was very dramatic when I played on July 14th at the Bastille Opera in Paris. It's July 14th. This is like here, July 4th. So you play the national anthem before you conduct the performance. So we did the national anthem, the Marseillaise, in a Berlioz version, which is like 12 trumpets and of course the whole chorus and soloists. And so for me, walking in there and then everybody stands up and then the orchestra plays stand up, and it was a very moving experience, because it's not such an easy thing that a German conductor conducts on July 14th the Marseillaise in the Bastille, the most symbolic place of the French Revolution. So it was for me a huge honor and a very, very moving experience. I think I felt very French at that moment. But it made me also understanding Beethoven 9 very well, because of course the French Revolution influenced also the composition of Beethoven 9, and I think there's no better combination than Marseillaise and Beethoven 9. So my whole thinking now when this piece is this idea of Béjart, who actually starts Beethoven 9 with African drums, and then the Nietzsche text is recited, and then we start the music. And at the end of in the last movement, an African dancer comes in and dances something very traditional. And then we had 200 dancers of all colors coming together and building up to the final chorus. Quite a moving event, and I still now I can't conduct it differently, and I cannot lose those images when I conduct Beethoven 9. It's a very, very moving experience for me.
Now the first three movements are less well known, but they are quite challenging. And is that something that is hard for an orchestra, or because the piece is played often that you find that something easy to rehearse?
Well, that's the problem. I mean, it is played often and people think they know it, and that's always dangerous with difficult pieces. You know, people think they know it, they don't need to rehearse it, they know the notes, yeah. The problem is in these pieces is there is so much that goes beyond the notes. And if you don't get that, that's not even worth playing the piece. But of course, if you've played every year, you're very comfortable on the surface of the music. So it's sometimes harder work because you have to wipe out some expectations and some memories to expose something fresh. As I said, for Beethoven 5 or all Beethoven symphonies, they say something different on the day we perform it. When Bernstein performed it at the Berlin Wall, it was a very, very special moment, and he even changed the word Freude into Freiheit, which means liberty, joy. He changed it into liberty. That's a very unique performance, but very much in the spirit of Beethoven, who was a very political man, by the way. So every day we perform this piece, we say something different in a different situation. It's a different comment to the world where it is.
That'll be Beethoven Symphony No. 9, the Choral Symphony, February 10th and 11th, 2012. Something to look forward to. Thank you.